everyone. Welcome back to our podcast, Seleyian. Your host is Christine Lemiso, and today I'm joined by our Executive Director and Founder for Murua Girls. Join us today as we reflect on 10 years of Murua and get to know all the steps and where we are so far. Thank you. Karibu sana, our guests.
Thank you. My name is Seleyian. I'm the founder and executive director of Murua Girls. It's a pleasure to be here.
How are you feeling being here today on the hot seat?
It's a concoction of feelings.
Okay.
Gratitude, a bit nervous, feeling cold, but I'm really, really happy to sit and look back on this journey.
Karibu sana. It's such a pleasure to host you and get to know why Murua and how far, and just to understand where this dream started. So maybe kindly share with us how Murua was started. What was your vision? What was your aim? Something that triggered for Murua to start.
Well, I always say Murua Girls started for very, very selfish reasons. Because at that time when Murua Girls started in 2015, my daughter just turned 10 years. And the reality that she might have to be subjected to FGM hit hard. And so for me to start this organization, I knew I'm not going to cut her. I knew I will protect her. But then I wanted her to have peers and to have friends who are uncut like her. And that's how this dream basically came together, just to create a safe world for my daughter.
Okay. Could you share the story, the Murua story, after realizing your daughter is turning 10 and wanted to make sure it's safe enough for her? Why did you think this would benefit other girls? I mean, what is your story as well as to why FGM? Because, even if we look at issues happening in the world, we have so many things going on, but then why FGM?
Personally, I'm a survivor of FGM, and it was done to me completely against my will. And just knowing that so many girls are going through FGM and later on regretting it, because no girl is really given a choice of what should happen to her body. But besides my daughter being at risk, the story of Murua is interconnected with so many stories of other girls. Apart from my daughter, there was another cousin of mine who was dropping out of school because of teenage pregnancy. And then back in the village when I did my class 8, I happened to be the only girl who sat the exams that year. And the year before me, there was only one girl. The year after, there was only one girl. And so the story of Murua is a connected story of so many girls who are not afforded that opportunity to get an education. And on top of it, their bodies are violated through harmful practices like FGM and child marriage. And for me, those were just lost dreams. And I wanted to do something that was bigger than me. I know the motive behind it was selfish. It was focused on my daughter. But the bigger picture was really for the pastoralist girl. How can we make the voice of a pastoralist girl come out? How do we ensure that pastoralist girls are afforded the same opportunities as girls across the world? And that's the big story behind Murua Girls.
So for someone who only hears about FGM but has never really understood the concept of FGM, could you kindly tell us what FGM really entails and maybe some of the impact that it has on the girls?
So according to World Health Organization, FGM is defined as a surgery performed for non-medical reason. And it's been classified as a form of gender-based violence and sexual violence. And also it comes with a lot of health complications depending on the type of FGM.
Could you just tell us a little bit about your beautiful self, how you grew up from childhood?
I call myself a pastoralist daughter. I grew up in the highlands of Narok North. We are both pastoralists and farmers. Grew up in a family of 4 siblings, but we had other siblings because, pastoralists are polygamous by nature. I was privileged to go to school, and post-primary school to high school and even college. And I came to the city like everyone else. This dream is you enda shule soma, go to the city, find a job.
That's nice. And how would you say it was growing up in a pastoralist home?
That question has so many answers. On one hand, it was a lot of fun. Life was just simple and easy, the community around it, the children. But there's one thing I noticed at a very early age that I don't think I was supposed to. I really noticed the violence. There was a lot of violence, especially towards women and girls. And growing up myself, I experienced it being attacked by Morans. And they will just beat you for no reason at all. And so when I reflect back on my childhood, I see both the beautiful part, the innocence of childhood, but I also see the things that I was exposed to that were not supposed to be there according to me. Yeah.
Back to Murua, you've done amazing work during the 10 years. Maybe a little bit of a reflection on the challenging moments and impactful moments that you remember that you could share with us as well.
Well, I'll start with my favorite moment. For me, this journey always revolves around the girls. So anytime I spend with the girls, that is a very affirming, it's a highlight of my day. So just watching the girls we've interacted with grow. When we started with grade 6 girls in 15 schools. And just watching, we walked with them all the way through class 8 and then they went into high school. So watching those girls now, most of them are actually adults now. They have jobs, they are married, they have their families. So sometimes you'll just meet a lady, a beautiful lady in town. You don't even remember her because now she's a beautiful lady. The last time you saw her, she was a little girl. And they'll come and happily hug you. And they're like, you don't remember me. You came to our school. You taught us about ABCD. So it's really fulfilling to come across such moments. And our program that sends us girls is really a highlight of my work with Murua Girls. The challenges, how do I begin? Those are also many. As a young woman driven by passion and the desire to see change in the community, I had zero experience about running an organization. And so the aspect of fundraising, monitoring and evaluation, report writing, all the technical bits that come into the work of a non-profit organization, I was learning them on the job, and it wasn't easy. But that was not even the tough part, that was the exploratory part. So as I explored, I was happy to learn. What really broke me in this journey is whenever I come across a girl who has been violated, and I have to help her rebuild and recollect her life and put herself back together and tell her that she can still dream, she can still achieve that, go towards that dream. Those have been the most difficult moments, the ones that have really, really broken me through this 10-year journey.
You have talked about the challenges that you went through with Murua, formation of Murua until where it is right now. But what about some of the personal challenges that you've been through? I mean, balancing between being a mom as well as a founder. So what are those challenges?
I think when you think of founding something, building something from scratch, it comes with its own challenges. And some of these are hidden, you'll only discover along the way. Part of it was really financial struggles because the first 5 years we ran without funding. And because I'm doing this job full time, I had no backup source of income. It was really difficult. At some point, I had to move back home and live with my parents as I worked. And my daughter was being supported by my siblings to go through school. And so the financial sacrifice I had to take to just get this organization off the ground was one of the biggest challenges that I had to deal with.
And with the impact that you're now making, I'm sure now it's not just the Murua community. Could you tell us how far you've gone, and with the impact to just reach out to the pastoralist community?
I was reading a report from our M&D team last week, and I saw that we have impacted 36,200 girls for the last 10 years. And that number, I almost told them, you guys are lying. It can't be. But when I look at all our interventions, that number is really possible. I think I started feeling real growth with Murua Girls when we moved from the 15 schools within Narok North and we ventured into Narok East. Then we went to Narok South, we did Narok West, and especially through our Teens Camp, because that's the program that has really grown with us over the years. The others have just come along, but Murua Teens Festival is the brainchild of the organization, and it's what we've seen it grow. When we did the camp in northern Uganda, Gulu, last year, oh my God, that was a highlight. I think it's one thing that we will never forget. I think we'll still talk about Gulu in years to come. Then we went to Samburu East and did two camps so far. This year we managed to venture into Isiolo, and we still have dreams to get to the girls in Marsabit. So just seeing that growth from Narok North, Murua Village, to Narok East, to Narok West, to Narok South, then to Kajiado West, then to Samburu East, to Isiolo, to Marsabit, all the way to northern Uganda. Oh my God. And we've also had a privilege to be on the global platforms. We've been part of the African Union conferences on end FGM and on end child marriage. We have applied to be part of the Africa Committee of Experts on the Rights and Welfare of the Child. And of course, at this moment, allow me to brag a bit.
Yes.
Because we've also received a lot of awards for impact on the children. And the very first award I received was the Zuri Award. And then the East Africa Breweries Award on sustainability. Then we were recognized by the Anti-FGM Board of Kenya as partners working on the grassroots to support efforts to end FGM. We also received an award from Metis, an education organization on collaboration, because one thing I believe in is that when you are working with a child belongs to the village, and this should apply with organizations working around children. We should always work together for the best interest of the child. Instead of competing, let's collaborate. Instead of scattering resources, let's gather these resources around the girl. And so, my last brag, I promise. This is the last one. This year, I got a nomination from the American Embassy to be part of the International Visiting Leaders Program. And I was so honored and privileged to travel across the US. We started in Washington, went to California, did New Mexico, and then finished the visit in Atlanta, Georgia. So that was a moment of glory for me. Yeah.
That's quite impactful, and thank you for sharing with us. What would you say is your vision for Murua for the next 10 years? Where do you see Murua in the next 10 years?
I think I keep telling my team, as long as girls are being bored, we are in business. Because our vision is very simple. Just allow that girl her voice, her agency, her rights, and her presence in the community to be felt, to be seen, and to be protected. And so our vision is just centering girls. And any space where decisions are made, whether it's in the arts industry, whether it's in nuclear science, whether it's in politics, our goal is to make sure the voice of the girl from the indigenous community is heard in that space, so that girls are centered across the board.
Thank you. It's such an exciting story to hear and see how far girls in the pastoralist community, and now we pastoralist communities, are doing tremendous work, and I mean even are representing us abroad, getting to see that actually a pastoralist girl can actually make it apart from all the challenges. And I believe you're an inspiration to many girls. And maybe to that girl who feels hopeless, that girl or that boy in the pastoralist community that feels left out. Maybe a word for them to encourage them.
I think let me address these children because they really hold a special place in my heart. And all I can tell them is that you are not limited to that village. Your dream is global. Your vision should also be global. Just work hard in school, stay in school, because I believe education is the key to unlock the opportunities in the world. And as the founder of Murua Girls and standing behind this vision, Our main goal is to ensure that every child, every girl, every boy in the pastoralist communities have access to education. And to the community, I'd like to urge them to protect our children with all that we have, because when all of us are gone, they are the future. And so we should invest in them, protect them, and jealously protect our culture as well, because our culture is our identity. But we should get rid of the ones that hurt us and preserve that which make us proud.
Yeah. Thank you very much. What would you say is a motto you live by?
There are many also.
Okay. We have all the time.
We have all the time.
Sure.
So one thing I always live by is no matter what you're going through in life, eat fast. With a full stomach, you can always think of the next step. The other motto, without God, I'm nothing. Honestly, without God, I'm nothing. Yeah. Well, the organization has grown from that initial first employee who was the founder, the executive director, the office cleaner, field worker, grant writer, everything. Then I was joined by one volunteer, Tina Kifio. She's still with us to date. And then we ran with her for at least 3 years. Then we were joined by Terry. Okay, at this point you do realize I might end up mentioning everyone in my team.
Definitely.
So Terry joined us in 2018, and then it was me, Terry, and Tina. Then from 2022, I can say we just grew up. We welcomed 7 other staff. We welcomed 22 volunteers in Narok East, Narok South, and Kajiado East. And so from just an organization of 1 person to 3, for the longest time it was just the 3 of us, and then we just grew up to, I think we're around 35 now, if I count our volunteers. And then of course we've always had a board in place. And I always say
could you please share with us an impactful moment of a girl that you have met before or is in the program that you would want our viewers to hear about?
There is this one girl, she's my relative. So just before I registered Murua Girls, it's actually her story that blew this whole thing up. When I told you Murua started for a selfish reason because of my daughter Bunnies, Bunnies remains a beacon of hope and strength for Murua Girls. Because watching her, she's now 17 years. So just watching her grow and knowing that she's growing in a safe world and that she's really invested in this program. She understands why mom has to be away for 2 weeks in a girls' camp in Samburu. But her story is not the one that really built Murua Girls. So this cousin of mine was pregnant, and knowing our parents, how strict they are, she attempted to procure an abortion in school. And then of course now the school administration had to come in because she developed complications. She was sent to hospital, then she was expelled. So when I heard that she was expelled, I went to the school posing. I don't know if I will go to jail for this, but let me just share. I went posing like a child rights activist and quoted a big organization just to give that strength. So I told the teacher, I'm from ABCD. I have heard the story of this girl you expelled. And when the teacher heard the name, he was like, no, we've not expelled her. She's at home recovering. I told him, I want that girl back in school on Monday. And on Monday, my dad was alive then. He was called and told, the girl needs to be in school. The government is following up. So it moved from an organization to the government. And I realized how much power there is in just speaking up, advocating for someone. And so with that story, when the girl came back to school, and then the head teacher now, who became my friend, calls me and is like, please come and mentor this girl so that we don't have other cases like this. And we continued partnering with this school. So just that story itself is the foundation that now told me, you can do this. But instead of impersonating another organization, why don't you just have your own so that you can advocate for girls' voices on a legal platform? Then the second story is a girl when I was working in the Mara who ran through a park when she found out that the man who she was being married off to is arriving in a few minutes to fetch her. So she ran, she didn't even have shoes. She ran, she came bleeding because she had scratches from the thorns. And when I saw that girl, it was like I had given up on Murua Girls. That will be a story for another day. And I had gone to get a job, but I was still working on girls' rights. So this girl told me, I want to become the women rep of Narok one day. And just because of her courage and her determination and her resilience, she was 13 years old and I enrolled her in preschool. And she sat with those totals and sang ABCD. She was so eager to learn that she didn't care that she was 10 years older than them. Her determination to just get an education is another reason I look at Murua Girls as a light to the community. And finally, the final story, I promise this is the final one. There is a girl from Samburu, and this story is a bit sad because sometimes it breaks me when girls have to face so much pain for no reason. This girl was defiled. She was lucky we were able to save her from FGM and child marriage. But when she was defiled, she got pregnant. And then she was really looking forward to becoming a mother at 14. I had mixed feelings about that. I'm like, she's still a baby. How are you going to become a mother? But then she had that child and she lost the child. And just thinking about her going through that cycle from the pain of defilement, the threat of FGM, the threat of child marriage, and then losing the child, that was really heavy. And I think I stayed in bed for 2 weeks just trying to go through that pain. That was really, really hard on us. And I saw how much it affected the team. And because of her, even when it gets so hard, because of her, even when that border ride is so stressful and so strenuous, we are determined to keep going. Because as long as there are girls who are still going through such things today, because this story I'm telling you happened this year in May. So as long as these girls still need us, we have a reason to still exist. And we are still determined, whether it means sacrificing, we are still determined to do it. Just to make sure that one girl is safe.
What a story. I can imagine all the emotions that you have to go through being and serving in the community. And maybe there's a girl somewhere, maybe there's someone in the pastoralist community that is looking forward to starting an organization to support the community and see the well-being of these girls. What would you advise her as a founder and an executive director?
I think one thing we've been told, especially as youth-led and women-led organizations, every time we come into this space, we are told there are already enough organizations. Why don't you join somewhere and work? I am not going to kill your dream. If you think that you can best serve your community by having an organization, please go ahead and start one and build it. One thing I pledged is that what Murua Girls went through in the founding phase, any other pastoralist woman or youth who is starting an organization, I am here as a resource. I'm here to hold your hand. I'm here to guide you. I'm here to direct you, to walk you into rooms you will not be able to walk into alone. And that's why we started the program, our leadership incubation program. We started this as Forum for Women in Community Work. And then we realized there are also young men who are doing community work and don't have that support. And we renamed it Yangape. Yangape in Maasai means pillars. I see these women and youth who are coming up with non-profit organizations or charitable organizations as society pillars. And our goal is to invest in them, to strengthen them, because when a pillar is strong enough, then it's able to support a building. When these leaders are invested in, they are able to support the community. And so that is what's my take on that.
Yeah, I love that there is inclusion in this. They're both men and women getting to support the community as well. And what would you say is your call to action?
To anyone watching my story today, thank you. First of all, thank you for sitting through it this far. And to everyone who has watched me on social media, live, running and building this organization, again, thank you. And to all our partners, as you know me, you may want to go and mention all of them, but the eye you're giving me, I will not. But thank you so much for believing in this vision of a small pastoralist girl from a small village and growing this vision beyond me, beyond our staff, beyond my small community, making it national, regional, and even global. My call to action is, as long as FGM is still prevalent, as long as girls are still being married off before the age of 18, and as long as we have global poverty, the work we do is still much needed. Please invest. Please support non-profit work. I know we see governments are withdrawing support, and this is where we turn to individuals and tell them it takes a village to raise a child. You have your resources, please give. You have your expertise, please donate your time. The world still needs kindness. Let us not stop here. Let us extend kindness and live a life great. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you. And are you seeing someone?
Okay, this question, like seeing someone hallucinating,
Are you dating?
like dating, hallucinating, or what?
Are you dating?
I'm not dating, I have a crush, but I'm not going to tell you.
Interesting. It's okay. You will share with me off air.
I'm not sharing.
Thank you so much for joining us on the show. It was an inspiring moment to get to hear our ED share her story and the impact as well. Your host is Christine Lemiso. Thank you so much and see you next time. As always, love, like, and share.